Peninsula Foodservice of Orlando, Florida was started by Mike Altiff and Jason Altiff. They had previously built up and sold out Orlando Foodservice to Cheney Brothers Meat Company. And after they did that, and after Great Western Meats of Orlando was purchased by U.S. Foodservice, there became a void in the Orlando market for fresh cut quality meat for the high-end hotels and restaurants. So after they had the experience in the market, they decided to quickly fill that void with a high-end quality meat cutting company. And they have been around for about 4 years doing general food service, but now their meat cutting operation has begun in full about 9 months ago. And they decided to use ESC to automate their operations and get them back up to the size they were at with Orlando's food service. Orders can come in multiple ways into Peninsula Foodservice. First, we have web order entry. A customer, say a Peabody Hotel in Orlando, can hop on the website and key an order. Here they're entering 10 beef strip loins, 3 of the tenderloins. They review their order. They can key which delivery date they want. They can key a comment for the entire order. And they can key a PO number. And as soon as they do that and hit submit, the order will be live in the system at Peninsula and ready to go. There it is. And then a email confirmation arrives from Peninsula to the hotel and also to the sales rep and anyone else, any other interested parties. Orders also flow into Peninsula Foodservice through the sales reps on the street with their iPhones and iPads. Here's an example of an iPhone keying an order for the same for the Peabody Hotel. So here we go, the Peabody Orlando. The rep can see on a map where they are. Here's the Peabody, here's the rep, and here is the main warehouse. They can click on this button. They can have the phone automatically dialed to the hotel. They can key an order from the order guide. They can also add on to the order guide from stock. Once they're on the guide, there we go, the apricot chart strip that we just added. We can hide and show cost and margin. Click here and say we want 5 cases of that. And 2 of these. And 4 of these. So now we've keyed those onto the order guide. And if you look here, they're in the open orders section for the Peabody. Back out, let's go to the Marriott Orlando and do the same thing. Let's key another order here for 100 carrot cake, 1 chuck flap, and some spring rolls. Let's review the orders right here. Let's go into that Marriott order and let's say they don't want the carrot cakes now. You can just swipe and delete. The rep can also click here on live orders and it reaches out to the main server and asks it what orders do I as a sales rep have in the system, and it returns those here. So we can like that. Here is the order that we keyed in through the web order entry interface, 4 lines. So however the order got into the main office, the rep would see it. They would see it whether the sales order entry girl keyed it, or whether they sent it through the iPhone, iPad, or whether the customer entered it with web order entry. It all ends up back at the main office and the rep can see it right here. And once they have these orders ready to go, they just hit setup and send data to office. And a few seconds later, through the internet, it has a successful transmission, and the orders are sitting there. Now if the rep comes here and looks at live orders, he sees Marriott, Orlando, and Peabody had the new orders that we just submitted. Lastly, orders can get in through the main EIC software system for the order entry module. So we go browse, invoices and orders. We see the open orders that we have, and we key in the order. So Peabody Hotel. There's the order guide. This is the same exact order guide on the iPhone, the website for the customer, and for the office crew in-house. And also the sales people can remotely access this from their home computers, connecting into the office at night. So we want 10 of these, 3 of these, and 14 of these. Process, and we have an order, and we hit finish. And it asks us, do we want to print cut tickets? Yes, we'll print a cut ticket for each of those cut items. After the order arrives in the EIC system at Peninsula, 3 documents are printed. Cut tickets for any cut meat items, anything that requires further processing before it ships out. Special instructions and comments flow in through the web and through the iPhone and through the order entry system. You can set up default special instructions as well for the customer. If they like something always sliced a certain way, you just put that in their order guide and it flows into the cut room with that instruction. But it can be overridden at the point of the order. So this is telling the cut room what to cut and for whom, and it also tells them who to contact. It tells them to contact John Rhodes in-house, if that's the sales rep for the account, or if they needed to call the customer directly and ask questions, they can call them with their contact information. So here we printed out 3 cut tickets, page 1, page 2, page 3. Each item, each line item of the order that is a cut item gets a separate cut ticket. Also, we print out a pick sheet for the warehouse so that they can pick the items and grab it from the cut room or from the warehouse after it's produced. And also a pallet sheet. This pallet sheet is just 1 per order, and it sits on the completed order to help them load the truck. When the processing room manager receives all of the cut tickets for tomorrow's orders, and he reviews a report showing him everything that needs to be produced, he decides how to batch that up. Let's say he needs to produce some strips and some tenders and some flat meat batches. He will go into the production module in EIC. He'll go browse batches, and he'll see all of the batches that he's done in the past, and he'll make new batches. So 1, 2, 3 new batches for tomorrow, and he'll pick what type of batch, so strips, and he'll do some tenders, and some flat meat. So he has these 3 batches ready to go for tomorrow, and then he'll print labels, and the label will appear in the processing room printer. And here they are. The warehouse now gets these batch labels, and they go and pick the appropriate raw materials for each of the batches. So here they're picking some beef, and they scan it with the scan gun, and that is all they need to do in the warehouse. After the warehouse operator scans the product into the batch, for the batch, the production manager can go into the batch and look at it. So here we're picking the production batch tenders, hit batch detail, and they'll see every raw material in. If we just want to see the raw materials, we can turn these off. So this is everything that was scanned into this batch for production. Each of these is one case, and here's the pounds, 33 point whatever. Scroll over to the right, we can see the actual barcode that was scanned, and we can see here the decoded barcode. So this is the UPC, this is the pack date, the pounds, and the serial number off each box. So all that information is pulled into the batch, and we now have 1,639 pounds of raw materials to work with in the production room for this one batch. And we have an actual cost. And it also tells us the oldest and newest dates, so we can see if we're using the product that's too old. So here it's June to September dates. Now we're inside the cut room. The cut room has the cut tickets like this in the cellophane wrappers. They start cutting the product according to the cut tickets, and then they bring it over to the scale station.